presented by the Pulse Centers of Chattanooga. This is the wonderful and beautiful Roxanne Clark. And,
hey, Sam.
Hi. And this is the Beast, Sam Jordan. Glad to be with you here on this Tuesday morning. And a lot to talk about. We want to remind you that the phone number to call with your questions or comments is 800-8949. 8949. And we encourage you to listen intently and, try to get educated. Well, maybe educated down here. Where I'm from up north, it's educated, they say. But anyway, this is something that is beneficial. If you are dealing with a lot of pain, in your body, pulse electromagnetic field testing, where it sends pulses into the inner tissues and cells of your body, after a period of time, PEMF does make a big difference in reducing that pain, and sometimes it helps you to where you not have to take a lot of medicine anymore for pain. So you're not having to pop the Tylenols or the ibuprofens or the Motrins or anything like that. But sometimes you do need to still take pain medicine, but not as much or not as often, maybe. Is that correct?
Well, it is, Sam. Pain medication definitely has its place in the world of health. Particularly prescription pain medication is where we put our focus. Bridging from a place of illness or from a place of injury to a place of health is a good fit for the prescription pain medications. But they're not designed to be used long term to manage chronic pain. They bring along their own sort of list of side effects and issues, that you then deal with on top of your pain. So really where we come into play is helping to find an answer to those chronic pain issues that does not involve medication.
Now, we talked here previously, about what seems to be the most areas that people will complain of as far as where they have the most difficulties with pain. Isn't necessarily in the back or in the joints or the legs or where?
Well, we see a lot of people, obviously, back pain is pretty prevalent. Most people carry around, pain and stress and tension in their neck and shoulders. I would say back pain is probably the most frequent thing that we see. The thing with back pain is that it doesn't just affect the back. All of the nerves that supply the rest of our body, the periphery of our body, our arms and our legs, they stem from the back. So when you have an issue with the lower back, upper back, whatever it may be, then it does tend to manifest in other places as well.
All right. And, with the experience that I've had, when I was checking things out, what PEMF is all about, is a pain-free type of an event. You go in there, you have a choice of whether you sit up in the chair or you can lay on the bed in one of the exam rooms and stuff. You don't have to take your clothes off or anything like that. The pulses are able to penetrate through your clothing, and especially if it's penetrating through your skin and the tissues and stuff, with a very nice but pulsating effect. And it seems almost like a massage in a way.
It's much deeper than just a massage. A massage
Right.
is, that's exterior manipulation, and that's where we kind of make the comparison with the TENS unit. A lot of people who've had chronic pain, have used the TENS unit in some way, along their path. And a TENS unit, it does also use a pulse electromagnetic field, but those pulses are much less strong, if you will. They really don't penetrate much below the surface, so it's just kind of stimulating that area right where those little pads are placed. And the pulses that we use with our equipment actually penetrate through skin, muscle, fat, bone, all the way into the cell wall and help to introduce energy into the cell wall in the area that we focus on. And, our body runs on energy. That is the fuel that we run on. And when you have cells that are not functioning at their maximum capacity, the body needs a way to say, hey, something is wrong here. And pain is usually that first indicator. It can get back as simple as you put your hand on something hot. Your body says, hey, that hurts, that's hot, remove your hand. So pain is typically the first indicator of our body trying to signal the brain and signal the rest of the body to say, hey, something's not functioning properly here. I need help. So when we can introduce that energy into the cells that are not functioning to their maximum capacity, we're able to address the issue at its most basic, deepest level.
All right. So with this technology, which is FDA approved, it's also been used by NASA, and I'm assuming they're still using it with their various programs and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Why the Pulse Center, and why bring it to Chattanooga?
Well, our Pulse Center actually has roots in the medical community and in the chiropractic community. My husband is an internist, and he supervises some, expanded function chiropractic offices up in the Nashville area. And he was originally exposed to PEMF several years ago, through that community. At that time, it was just something interesting that another group was doing, and honestly didn't give it a whole lot of thought. But the more that he would sign off on charts and just saw the progress that patients were having, he really began to take notice, and telling me about it, as did I. He actually ended up having a pretty bad shoulder accident, had to have some surgery, and a lot of post-op pain after that. Then had some PEMF treatments, and that's really where it kicked in for us. And he said, I want this to be available to my patients for chronic pain and even acute pain relief. Nobody else in Chattanooga was doing it, and so that's how Pulse Center started.
You find that niche, and you work to grow it.
Well, that's true. But the idea did come from a very genuine desire on his part and mine to be able to find alternative treatments for chronic pain patients, who would continually come in his door for their appointments. And, they've gone through their regimen of procedures or, different things that they'd had done. But still left with chronic pain. And, his only alternative was to whip out that script pad and to start that opioid cycle. And, it's just something he said, there's got to be a better way. So, the essence of Pulse Centers and our beginning, came from a true desire from, my husband as a physician, wanting to have an alternative to those long-term pain relief, medications.
How long has PEMF been around? Since it's been widely accepted, with the FDA and here in Chattanooga, you've been here just a little over a year.
We have, Sam. We just had our first anniversary here. But PEMF, as a technology, has been around for decades. As many things tend to happen, it's actually a standard of care, in Europe, and has been for many years. And it's just making its way into, the healthcare world here in the States.
With the technology, do you see it growing, to being available across the country, or at least here in the region?
Well, absolutely. The response that we have gotten just in our short time, has been remarkable. And, people are searching for it. They may not be sitting down and Googling, where is the closest PEMF clinic? I got to find it. But what they are doing is sitting down and Googling, alternative pain relief. They're Googling, how do I treat my incontinence? They're Googling all these things. And it's just a matter of us letting the public know that, hey, PEMF actually is an answer to a lot of the things, that you're looking for.
Now, is this just for people that are our age, like anywhere from 40 and older, or does this PEMF technology also help younger people, teenagers or younger than that even?
Oh, absolutely. We treat everyone from, kids all the way up to grandparents and everything in between.
Okay. Now, commonly when someone would contact the Pulse Centers and want you to give the address of where you're located at and the phone number, what can they expect when they either call you or come through the door?
Well, when you give us a call, we always schedule a free consultation and your first session at no cost. We're fully aware that PEMF is new. People aren't, they're not familiar with it. And so we do a free consultation and your first session at no cost. And sort of on that note, last week we had a little bit of a Halloween special where we had the Halloween treat for some of our listeners. And we had such a strong response to that. We decided that we'd like to extend that and have a special offer today for our listeners for the show. So we'll extend the same offer that we did last week, actually, for the first 2 callers to the clinic. We will have 5 free sessions for those first 2 callers to the clinic. And the number there is 423-771-7755.
All right. So give the great staff over there a call. And, it's a good way to try to relieve some of the pain that you're experiencing by contacting the Pulse Centers here in Chattanooga, located on the Lee Highway, right across from Capital Toyota.
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, Roxanne, when you get into doing the consultation with the patient that comes into your fine facility, how do you delve into finding out what their issues are? What do you ask? What's the process?
Well, I ask the same question to everyone that I sit down with, and it's very simply, just tell me your story. We don't necessarily, approach things the same way that you will experience when you go to the doctor's office or whatever. We do need a list of symptoms. We need a list of your medications and those kinds of things. But we also want to know you, and it's important that we know the individual person, that we understand the process that's brought them from, wherever their pain began to, why they're sitting with us, today. So we really take time to listen, to understand, and to get to know the person, behind the symptoms. It's not just a set of, it's not just a clinical set of issues. It's a person, and we treat that whole person.
Now, the one thing, you do take doctor referrals, I'm assuming.
We do. While we do work on doctor referrals, we also, you do not have to have a referral from your physician. We do, work by appointment. So if you want to come in, you're free to just give us a call and we'll get you scheduled. But a doctor referral is not required.
Okay. Now, you do have convenient plans for payment, but you don't take insurance.
No, Sam, we do not take insurance. No, but, we offer payment plans and we have care credit. And there's a lot of things that we do to make it very, very manageable. So.
Okay. Now, is this something that, for a company out there that has lots of employees, or even if there's a small operation as well we are, that, it could be included as part of the benefits plan?
Absolutely, Sam. That's not an arrangement that we have with anyone right now, but we would absolutely be willing to, talk with employers and have this, incorporated into something that they offer to their employees. Absolutely, we'd be open to that.
Okay. 423-800-8949 is the phone number to call. 423-800-8949. And you can also check us out on YouTube as well as Facebook Live. And I'm Sam Jordan along with Roxanne Clark from the Pulse Centers with the drug-free and pain-free wellness hour here. And you can hear every Tuesday from 11 a.m. to noon on Noogaradio News Talk 92.7 and 95.3 HD4. Roxanne, typically, we've talked about Stephanie, where she went on her hiking experience and ended up getting hurt and everything. We talked about that a couple of weeks ago. It's like, can someone sustain an injury like that and, be able to turn things around? As far as getting back into good shape?
Absolutely. What studies show is that cells need about twice the amount of energy to heal or to regenerate than it does just to run on everyday normal function. So when we have an injury, the body needs extra fuel, to help, recover from whatever injury it is. So absolutely, it's very helpful for just recovering from strenuous exercise, For people who work out, you're literally breaking those muscles down and rebuilding new muscle tissue. That's how your muscles get bigger. And so it does help to speed that recovery time. And absolutely, if you have an acute injury, it can help to reduce the pain process through that, but also to speed the recovery time as well.
Now, do you think that you find most injuries coming from doing outdoor activities, or could it be job related, or where do you see a lot of the injuries that come about into your office?
Wow, Sam, it's really fun. People find every way under the sun to get hurt, and it goes all the way from kayaking to hiking to whatever, to literally stumbling over your dog in the kitchen and everything in between. Some people have really cool stories of what their injury was, and others not so cool, but injuries happen.
What's been one of the most interesting stories you heard without mentioning their name and protecting the innocent?
Wow, Sam, you're putting me on the spot. I'm not going to throw anybody under the bus, but okay. I will say this, like, again, you don't have to, there's not a specific niche that you have to be. You don't have to be an older person who's got this chronic pain who just can't hardly function. And you don't have to be, this stellar athlete who's, tweaked the hamstring during the Ironman. We all sustain, injury and damage to our bodies. We use them every day. So, there's a place for PEMF in every lifestyle.
I was saying to you last week, because I finally completed my move down here to Tennessee from Pennsylvania. And I don't know if from going up and down, in the moving truck and stuff, if I pulled something or broke something, because my right leg has just really been giving me all kinds of pain, and it shoots right back up in my lower back. And it's like, I don't know, still to this point, I don't know how I did it or how I got hurt, but, it does create a lot of stress and pain for myself. I mean, yeah, we use all kinds of topical ointments and stuff to try to relieve that, but that's where PEMF can come through and try to focus on that area where you're experiencing that pain the most.
Well, where PEMF stands aside and stands different from, topical, pain relief, or even, medications that we take, it's not helping to mask the pain.
No.
It's actually addressing the pain at its source and literally promoting healing from the inside out. We don't have anything magic, so to speak, but literally we're just helping to provide extra fuel for the body to run the processes that we were created with. The body is a self-healing machine, and it's self-recovering. So we're not adding an artificial process to the mix. We're just fueling the body to be able to kick in those natural healing responses.
It's not something that you do your magic and it feels good for a little bit and then goes away after a day or so.
No, and it's the process. Just like, you're not going to have one procedure and everything be magically better. You're not going to take one pill and be magically better. It is a process. So, we ask and we work with, our patients through that process. I a lot of times will tell people, when you take pain medication, typically you take that, at least twice a day, if not 3 times a day. And, under most circumstances, we ask that you see us twice a week. So, when you compare that to, the number of times that you take a, pain medication, it balances out very nicely.
What do you normally hear from the patients that you have come through there after experiencing, the PEMF process? What are typical comments? I should have done this a long time ago, or, it's really great,
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously, when you are finding relief to pain, pain is going to alter your lifestyle, to one degree or another, depending on the severity of that pain. And a lot of times, once that pain begins to subside and begins to, reduce, then, people are able to just even daily activities, they're able to get back to normal life and enjoy things that they, weren't able to enjoy so much before. But it's really cool. You know, we see people walk in the door and they're like, man, you know, I can't wait to get here. This is the best hour of my day. So yeah, and of course, a lot of comments like, you know, I wish I'd known about this, you know, sooner. This is a great alternative. And again, it's, you know, we put so many foreign things into our bodies. You know, we eat food that's processed and we take all these medications and all. And this is not adding anything foreign to the body. It's literally just introducing energy into the cells and helping us to heal.
All right. First segment of the drug-free and pain-free wellness hour presented by the Pulse Centers of Chattanooga is going to be back here in just a little bit after the break, and we'll talk more about the Pulse Centers and PEMF technology that is here in the Tennessee Valley to help you get to a pain-free and lifestyle. We'll talk with Roxanne Clark with more on that when we return.
The Tennessee Valley's news talk leader, Noogaradio, digital FM 95.3 HD4 and 92.7 FM. Chattanooga, digital FM 95.3 HD4, 92.7 FM's news now.
27-year-old Brian Williamson was walking along Shepherd Road when gunshots rang out and he was pierced by hot lead. He ran into a recreation center on Shepherd Road and took cover there, calling the police. They arrived on scene and gave him assistance. He was taken to the hospital. The Violent Crimes Bureau investigating, trying to track down the shooter. Details of another shooting have been revealed. A juvenile was cut down by gunfire in East Ridge Sunday night on McBrien Road. The victim was found on Ringgold Road. He advised police that he had been shot. He was taken to the hospital where he's recovering. The CPD investigating along with East Ridge PD. And a second grade teacher has gone missing. John Eaton, a teacher for CSAS, has been missing since Sunday. He told his wife he was going to get work done at the school on Sunday evening. Surveillance camera video shows he never showed up. Russell Stroud, Radio News. Now.
Traffic, news, and information. Noogaradio, digital FM 95.3 HD4 and 92.7 FM.
NASCAR Monster Energy Series shifts its focus to Phoenix for the next to the last race of the season. Jimmy Johnson, who is seeking out an 8th championship trophy, may not be able to get it because he is behind in points by 51. Brad Keselowski has got the 4th slot right now, but Denny Hamlin is right on his heels with 19 points back. Ryan Blaney was 22 points back. Chase Elliott with 49 points back. And Johnson with 51, vying for that final playoff spot going into Phoenix this weekend. Kevin Harvick, Kyle Busch, and Martin Truex Jr. both are guaranteed slots in the final race in the championship race. Green Bay thought that they were going to have an easy time with the Detroit Lions last night, but end up falling short as the Lions came away with a 30-17 victory. The last time that Green Bay had played Detroit was in Week 17 last year and captured the NFC North Championship. Sam Jordan, News Talk 92.7 Sports now.
The Tennessee Valley's news talk leader, Noogaradio, digital FM 95.3 HD4 and 92.7 FM.
Expect cloudy, warm, and humid weather out there through your afternoon with scattered showers passing on through, highs lower 70s tonight, slowly drying out and cooling down, lows into the lower middle 50s. Leftover clouds but cooler Wednesday, highs upper 50s to near 60, more sunshine later Thursday. Looking for a new career? Georgia Northwestern Technical College is where you need to be, featuring over 200 programs of study. Admissions deadline for spring is November 30th. Visit gntc.edu. And I'm Source Team 12 Chief Meteorologist Patrick Cole.
Truex Jr. is off the page and he is headed to the pit lane. Around the outside. Michael McDowell pops the race front tire. Here's Martin Truex to the front. Please watch him off too. Chase Elliott went 4 wide on the back straightaway. They're side by side for the lead.
Here at live on Chattanooga's official NASCAR radio station.
Noogaradio, 92.7 FM, 95.3 HD4.
The voice of NASCAR. Toilet running?
Race Plumbing, 421-6341.
Drips under your feet, turning your floor into mush?
Race Plumbing, 421-6341.
Septic choking after years of neglect?
Raise Plumbing, 421-6341.
Hi, this is Eric Pelton. Taxes, accounting, business advice. I've got a neat brochure, 12 ways to improve your business profits. Come on by for a free consultation and we'll give you a copy. E.J. Pelton Company, 332-3339.
Goss Insurance. Yes, we are local. And no, we don't have an 800 number. In fact, our mobile numbers are on our business cards. We live, work, play, and worship in Chattanooga, and we would love to help with your insurance. Business, auto, home, life insurance. Call now, save money. Call Goss Insurance for all your insurance needs. Goss Insurance, 875-2500. 875-2500.
Traffic, news, and information. Noogaradio, digital FM 95.3 HD4 and 92.7 FM.
Expect cloudy, warm, and humid weather out there through your afternoon. With scattered showers passing on through, highs lower 70s tonight. Slowly drying out and cooling down, lows into the lower middle 50s. Leftover clouds, but cooler. Wednesday highs upper 50s and near 60. More sunshine later Thursday. Georgia Northwestern Technical College is where you need to be, featuring over 200 programs of study. Admissions deadline for spring is November 30th. Visit gntc.edu. And I'm Sports Team 12 Chief Meteorologist Patrick Ford.
Noogaradio, digital FM 95.3 HD4 and 92.7 FM knows your opinion is important. So call 800-8949. Agree or disagree. Call 423-800-8949. 800-8949. Noogaradio, 92.7 FM and 95.3 HD4. News Talk Noogaradio.
Well, you can definitely feel good when you give Roxanne, Michelle, and Stephanie and the rest of the great staff over at the Pulse Centers at 5811 Lee Highway in Chattanooga, right across from Capital Toyota, a phone call. And if you're not feeling good, that's even more reason to stop in or call.
Absolutely. And Sam, we're doing a special today for the listeners of our show. The first 2 people to call into the clinic at 423-771-7755 will receive 5 free sessions of PMF at our clinic. So again, 423-771-7755.
Now, do you realize that's over a $250 value?
Absolutely. Give us a call.
So, I mean, this is not just small potatoes we're talking about. This is something that, one, can help you feel pain-free and get to the root of your problem, almost literally to the root of the problem, because of the way PMF technology pulsates into those inner cells. Now, one of the areas that PMF has really helped quite a bit is with incontinence. And I mean, we're not necessarily an older area here in this part of the United States, but we do have our fair share. What can PMF do to help people that may have incontinence or someone that they know that has incontinence issues?
Well, that's a great question, Sam. And, on our social media the last couple of weeks, we have been focusing on PEMF and incontinence. And let me just take this opportunity to say, do your research. If you have an issue and you wonder, was PEMF going to help with this or whatever, get online and Google it. Google PEMF and incontinence, Google PEMF and pain relief or whatever. But incontinence specifically, we can address that. It has to do with a loss of, strong muscular function, that causes us to leak a little bit. And because every body system that we have works on cellular function, every single thing that we have, organs, body systems, whatever, it all boils down to one very basic unit, the cell. And because PEMF helps to introduce energy into those cells and help them to function at their maximum capacity, then it all works on the same, under the same notion. So absolutely, it helps to strengthen those muscles, tighten things up, and not to oversell. I'm not a salesman at all, but I do encourage you, if that, incontinence is really something that's kind of uncomfortable to talk about, but people who suffer with that, it really alters their lifestyle. It offers that quality of life, and it affects every single thing that you do. Something you have to plan for and plan around. If it's something that you struggle with, I really encourage you, just come on in and, let us talk with you, try a free session, and just see the result that you get. It's really remarkable.
Now, typically, with the incontinence issues and everything, and we're talking mostly with our senior citizen age range that may be 60 plus. I'm not saying anybody that's between 60 and wherever you feel is old, is old, but incontinence has been a big issue. I mean, for our older community members that we have out there. Specifically, what will PMF do? I mean, you mentioned about, trying to help tighten things up and everything, but how can you go about in trying to help make that issue not as prevailing, I guess you could say, or where you see it happening all the time?
Right. Well, first I will say, obviously incontinence is something that, becomes more of an issue, as we, get a few more miles on us, so to speak. But in particular, ladies who have had babies really deal with this issue kind of quietly, and, we all have those sneezing moments or whatever when, we have that little accident. So, it really isn't an age specific problem. But again, working on a cellular level, we introduce that energy into those cells, just helps to strengthen and tighten. It's just like exercise and working out. It helps to strengthen and tighten up those muscles so that, they are functioning at their maximum capacity, doing the job that they're made to do.
All right. Now, PEMF also has other areas that it also helps besides with the incontinence. I mean, can you briefly describe what some of those are?
Yeah, we've touched on this before, but we have a lot of success with people who struggle with migraines. And this particular time of year, a lot of people, will have migraines that are triggered by, the allergies and whatnot that go along, with this season. But we have a lot of really, really good results with people who struggle with migraines. Typically, the cycle that we see that run is, first those migraines just start to reduce in severity. We have some patients who are physically, have been made ill. They're throwing up, they're at home in bed sick because of a migraine. So typically we start to see those just lessen in severity. They're not throwing up in bed anymore. It's not keeping them from going to work, those severe life altering conditions. And then we start to see that subside and lessen in occurrence. And so if you're lessening the severity and you're lessening the occurrence, you're also lessening the impact of that migraine on that person's life. So, we have a lot of really good results with our migraine patients.
So, I mean, yeah, we touched upon, a lot of people come in with having the back issues, but I mean, you don't really think about where migraines could have that altering effect on you.
Oh, absolutely.
National Weather Service, probably.
This is a coordinated monthly test at the broadcast station.
Weekly test.
Okay. I can play on that.
Official messages when follow the alert tone. This concludes this test of the emergency alert system.
Okay, now that we're back after the required weekly tests.
Well, and speaking of migraine triggers, that could definitely do it to you.
Especially with headphones.
Yeah, that was a nice surprise. No, migraine triggers are definitely out there. Seasonal allergies can definitely play a role in migraines, becoming more severe, more happening more frequently. But migraines just manifest in so many different ways. People will have triggers like smells or sounds or weather. A lot of people are affected by barometric pressure, not just with migraines, but just, a lot of people with chronic pain, joint issues and whatnot. We see those things flare up, as the barometric pressure changes. So, but again, it's a process. It's just like, if your goal is to be very fit, you're not going to go to the gym one time and bang, have a banging body. It doesn't happen in one session. It is a process, and we work with you and we walk with you through that process. But our goal is the same as yours, to get you to a happier, healthier, more comfortable place, ultimately to improve your quality of life.
So we've talked about the back, the joints, with migraines, incontinence. So PEMF will work with various issues and stuff that, the body, happens to deal with. So it's a technology out there that really can make a big difference. Now, I know we haven't talked about this a whole lot, so I'm hoping I'm not going to surprise you here, but
All right.
the wellness part of things,
Yes.
with what PEMF can do. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, we definitely address, what we say, drug-free pain relief and wellness. And wellness does go into some of those other issues that are not just directly pain related. We talked about incontinence a little bit, but also just, our body's immune system is an important factor as well. It is a body system, and it does obviously work on cellular function. So, my colleagues and I all comment, since we started using PMF on a regular basis, I've not had my normal fall, hacky, sick cough thing yet. It improves your immunity and your body's ability to fight off pathogens and allergens and things in the system. So, it really is about giving your body the energy to function like at its maximum capacity. All of these functions are within our body's capabilities. A lot of times there's just not enough fuel for them to work on.
Right. Now, we mentioned about, Stephanie, she likes to do the hiking and stuff. Do you encourage people to, add to their regimen besides with the PEMF technology to, work out in a gym, not necessarily, lifting the barbells and all that stuff, constantly all the time, but putting some sort of a physical fitness regimen into their daily diet?
Well, of course, anytime that we are working and using our body, then it's going to be healthier. I'm certainly no athlete. I'm not a gym rat by any stretch of the imagination, but I do try to hit the gym when I can. And, I enjoy, hiking. I went hiking this weekend and it had been a while. So, 4.5 miles with me and my dog. I'll admit, like, I kind of felt it the next day. So I just did a quick PMF session, and that soreness, achiness, tenderness, that's there when we work out, when it's been a while, literally it just melts away. It's gone.
Right.
Yeah.
So, there are things that you can do as well, in trying to better your lifestyle and everything. And would that also include the eating part? I know with me being a diabetic and everything, I have to really be careful with what I eat because I don't want my body producing a lot more sugars to get me into a situation where it's not healthy for me. What other areas, besides the physical fitness and our dietary concerns that we should have in trying to help keep our body healthy?
Well, on that note, one thing I will mention is that the vast majority of us walk around in at least a mildly dehydrated state most of the time. The majority of us just don't get enough fluids. We don't drink enough water, period. Sometimes it's tough to drink a lot of water, those recommended, allowances, but the body, there's a lot of water, made in our body. And the more that we're able to stay hydrated, the better it's able to work and function. So I do want to take one moment and go on ahead and just mention we do still have our special for the first 2 people. I don't think both those slots have been filled yet. I don't think so. But anyway, the first 2 people who call into the clinic at 423-771-7755 will receive 5 free pulse sessions, and that'll include your consultation as well. So give the gals a ring at the clinic and we'll get you set up.
All right. So the Pulse Center is located at 5811 Lee Highway, right across from Capital Toyota, here in Chattanooga. Is probably the first in the area as far as with offering PEMF technology, correct?
It's definitely the first here in the Chattanooga area, and it is the first in the nation to be the only, we do PEMF and that's all that we do. So, when you do one thing all day, every day, you quickly rise to the top of your field and, become an expert in that field. So, it's really cool. We get a lot of phone calls from colleagues and from, other people around the country, really around the world, who are starting to utilize PEMF, and they want to hear our experiences and how things are working with us as well. So definitely a really cool place to be.
Yeah, and really a great staff to work with. I know when I've been in there, the gals in there, they don't treat you as a number. They really don't. I mean, they want to know how or what your pains are and how they can try to remedy that. It's not a cure-all station or anything like that on the very first visit. They want to dig into what your situation is and try to devise a plan that's going to be effective.
Well, Sam, especially for our people who have suffered with chronic pain, most of them have run the gamut of, cycling through different physician offices or going through different procedures or whatnot. And they have all been, here, take this, or here, go get that done, or whatever. And, like you said, sort of treated like a number and glazed over and not really addressed as a person, as a whole body unit who has this particular issue, whatever it may be, that's affecting their life, their ability to enjoy their family, their friends, their children, grandchildren, whatever it may be. And we take all of that into account. Those things matter. You're not just a sciatic issue and we got to fix that one thing. We want to get you back on the golf course or whatever it's affecting.
All right. One of the things that I think is unique, the atmosphere when you go into the Pulse Centers there on the Lee Highway, you don't feel like a number. First off, the care that you and your staff offer to the patient, and then when you go into either I don't know what you call that middle room where the two chairs are, or into one of the exam rooms where you've got the beds that really put you to sleep and make you feel very relaxed. You have that feeling where, okay, someone does care. They want to get to the bottom of my problem, and, they want to help you feel better. And it's like, just unbelievable because you can't find that hardly anywhere. When you go to a doctor, and I'm not knocking any doctors in particular, just in a generality, yeah, some of them may have that care and compassion, the bedside manner that they are supposed to have, but you guys really take it, to the next level and truly do show that you do care.
Well, and again, our approach is whole body wellness. If you have, and your right knee has been giving you issues for years or whatever, you don't just have a right knee issue. You're very soon probably going to have a left knee issue because that left knee is taking up, the weight and support that you're having to, sling over from, your right knee. That's going to cause your back to have issues because your gait is not going to be equal. So, you're not just a set of symptoms and a place to circle on that, body chart that we all see. It is a whole body, health that we're after.
So we invite you, the listener, to call in with any questions or comments about PEMF. And if you have something that you want to specifically ask Roxanne, you can do so by calling 423-800-8949. 423-800-8949. And if you haven't done so yet, we haven't gotten word yet from the office whether or not both of those slots have been filled, but call 423-771-7755 and win one of those sets of 5 treatments at the Pulse Centers at 5811 Lee Highway in Chattanooga. Over a $250 value. And I'm telling you, if I was eligible to win, I would be calling right away because in the 2 sessions that I was there, it really does make a huge difference. I mean, you may not know me from Adam, but I'm telling you, I really felt great after I left there. I mean, I felt like I was maybe an 18-year-old again,
wow.
Kick butt, take names, and not ask any questions. It really made a big difference as far as with my lower back and in my shoulder area. That's where I was having my chief issues when I went in there. Now I'm going to have to schedule a time to go in there and see what's going on with my right leg with the pain that I've been experiencing, just pulsating right up to the back of my lower back area there, and see what we can do. I mean, your staff, they seem to focus on that area and try to make things better. What are some of the typical questions that a patient will ask when they contact the pulse centers?
Well, one of the main questions that people tend to ask is, this sounds like it might hurt. Is this going to hurt? And a lot of times that comes in reference to the good old TENS unit that, we kind of keep referencing. And, the TENS unit, again, definitely has its place. But you kind of feel beat up after that, that you stick the little nodes on, wherever your issue is, and it's a pow, 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 pow. Like you really get, hit. And, the comparison between the two is, those pulses from that TENS unit, they really have to punch a, pretty good hit just to penetrate beneath the tissue. Because our pulses are so strong, they don't have to hit nearly as hard. So it's a very, very gentle, very, very comfortable, soothing even,
Yes.
It's very comfortable. We have lots of sleepers, during their sessions. Lots of naps happen. Lots of naps happen at our clinic.
Maybe even a little snoring.
It's funny because we were just discussing snoring this morning. We had someone doze off in a chair, and we were kind of, all joking a little bit about that snores are a compliment to us at our office. So, people typically want to know, what's this like? Does it hurt? Is it uncomfortable? People want to know, what do I wear? Wear comfortable clothes. You can come straight in whatever you would have, whatever you wear to work. As long as you can sit comfortably or recline comfortably, then not a problem at all.
So you could basically come in gym shorts and a T-shirt, or maybe even like I'm dressed today, a business executive or someone that works in an office, and it's like they're using their lunchtime to come in to have a session.
We do. We've had people come in literally in their pajamas because they were really in an acute, state of pain. And then we have businessmen who come in, in suit and tie, on a regular basis. So your attire doesn't matter.
All right. Just come with clothes on.
Yeah, we would prefer that.
Yes. All right. In the final moments that we have here in today's show and everything, we want to remind you once again to call in at 423-771-7755. Take advantage of the 5 sessions that you can get with this special offer from the Pulse Centers located at 5811 Lee Highway in Chattanooga, right across from Capital Toyota. And I'm telling you, you will not regret ever doing this. Call, just check it out. I'm telling you, it is a great way to deal with pain in a lot better sense than what you typically have been used to. This is a fairly new technology. I mean, it's been around for, 10 years or maybe a little longer?
Oh, decades.
Oh,
yeah.
decades?
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
All right. But, it's the first of its kind here in the Chattanooga area, and Roxanne and her great staff will be more than glad to walk you through step by step through the process and educating you on what you can do after you have your sessions as well, to kind of help steer you along in a path where you don't have to worry about, when I get a bad pain in my back, what can I do? They will help you through that process. Am I correct?
Oh, absolutely. And, we offer specials like this because, we recognize, PEMF is a new, unfamiliar process. And, people are, I think, very valid in having, questions and skepticism about things that are new. There's a lot of stuff out there right now that we should be very skeptical of. So, we invite questions. We invite you to do your own research. And again, we offer, free sessions like this to give, the public an opportunity to come to have their questions answered in person, to experience, what the sessions are like, to get those questions answered for yourself.
They also have a website. It's www.pulsecenters1.com. Go to that website. If you have questions, you can find answers there. If you can't, like Roxanne said, you can always Google it and find out a lot about PEMF. So anything you want to add?
Well, I would say, and thanks for bringing up the website, it is a really good resource. And we have, some testimonials from, people who've had, good experiences at our clinic, and it'll tell you their stories. But, you know, we just encourage you, check it out. Give us a call, 423-771-7755.
Until next Tuesday at 11 a.m., I'm Sam Jordan along with Roxanne Clark from the Pulse Centers. We encourage you to get pain-free and hopefully drug-free as well by participating with the Pulse Centers. 5811 Lee Highway in Chattanooga, 423-771-7755. Have a good day.
Traffic, news.